Good afternoon, everybody. My name is John Einerson. I am with OEO Energy Solutions. I'm the president here, and I want to welcome you to streamlining your facility operations. 3 ways to upgrade your lighting to LED for maximum energy efficiency. Before we get started, I can see other people are coming in here. So just 1 minute there, give them another few seconds. Okay. Maybe good, a couple more, good to go here. So anyway, I have been born and raised here in Chicago the last 62 years. And my background really has been one of an entrepreneur. I've always worked for myself, and having started businesses out of my mom and dad's basement here in the northern suburbs of Chicago. I built one business to about 150 people, and then I sold it to a public company. And thereafter, I invested heavily in commercial real estate, warehouses, industrial plants here in the Chicago area. And one of the things that you do as a real estate investor is look for ways to offset the operating costs of your buildings to make them more energy efficient. Is a good way to do that. Increases the cash flow, increases the value of the buildings, and also your ability to lease them perhaps for rates lower than the competition who has not upgraded their buildings. But anyway, that interest in energy efficiency is what was my path to the world of LED lighting. Back in the early 2000s, a lot of the buildings that we upgraded energy efficient lighting were going from 400 watt metal halides, 1,000 watters, 400 watters like those, to a 6 lamp T8 type of system or a T5 type of fluorescent system, which were great ways to reduce your energy costs by about 50% plus. However, you were still dealing with glass fluorescent type of mercury filled tubes that would lose their light over time pretty quickly, just like the metal halide lamps and high pressure sodiums that they were replacing. So you had light loss, you had maintenance costs and maintaining those existing systems that failed over fairly short periods of time compared to LED. And were a nice transitional type of product and a great step at the time to make your facility more energy efficient. Of course, the impact on lighting costs is greatly, or energy costs, is greatly impacted by adopting energy efficient lighting technologies, not to mention others, but by far lighting is the low hanging fruit with respect to lowering operating costs in your commercial facilities by about 70% or up to almost close to 100%, depending on the application, like a logistics center that can use motion sensors or scheduling or Bluetooth. Anyway, there are really 3 different ways to upgrade your existing lighting system. Either you're using 400 watt type of fixtures like these that have either a high pressure sodium lamp in it, which is the yellow type of light, it's a 400 watter right here, or you're using a 400 watt metal halide lamp, or perhaps mercury vapor. So the plug and play version of the lights that you can use are called the ballast compatible, or what we call type A lamps. And then there's also a ballast bypass type of lamp, which is what we call type B. I remember that by B for bypass. And then your third option is to completely eliminate those type of ballast or fixtures altogether and replace them with brand new LED fixtures, depending on what your circumstances are. We'll talk about that a little bit later. The one fixture that we haven't shown up here as far as ballast compatible or ballast bypass lamps is a 6 lamp T8 or T5. I'm not showing those today because those particular products, if you upgrade the lamps from a 32 watt or 54 watt T8, 32 watt T8 to a roughly a 12 watt LED, you can swap them out to a type A lamp, which is take out the old light, put in an LED tube light, you're good to go, but you don't get the benefit of the controls. And also, I think the light output is quite a bit superior with LED lights that send all the light down to the working space. So we're going to talk about high pressure or metal halide lamp replacement. Take out a 400 watt bulb or high pressure sodium, screw in a 150 watt LED, and your upgrade to LED is complete. I'm going to talk about network lighting controls a little bit later. So we were the first ones to come out with a plug and play light that would replace a 400 watt metal halide like this to an energy efficient light bulb. We were at Light Fair in 2011, I believe, and we were walking around. I had a eureka moment. I saw a display similar to what you see behind me here, and they had a metal halide lamp in it. And then the other product they had on the side was a giant CFL that screwed into a metal halide fixture. Not a bad option at the time. It was 5,000 Kelvin, a nice white light. The issue is it's the giant CFL, people. It still had mercury in it. The light output was very good on these, but still throwing light sideways, not all the way down to the work surface. 5,000 Kelvin color temperature, which was nice and white. However, it only worked with metal halide balance. So the only way you could upgrade without entirely switching out your existing metal halide system or high pressure sodium system at the time was to go to a 6 lamp type of fluorescent system. With the plug and play version of the light, you just swapped out bulbs. It took you, literally as quickly as changing out a light bulb to go from 400 watts down to 180 watts. Speaking of wattage and the cost of the wattage to operate, a 400 watt light bulb operating 24/7 at 11.5 cents a kilowatt hour, that's a key kilowatt hour cost number to me. It's a benchmark. It's gone up quite a bit since that benchmark was the average. 11.5 cents happens to equal about $1 a watt to operate something 24/7. So if your kilowatt hour cost is 11.5 cents, operating 1 watt 24/7 costs you $1. So 400 watt metal halide operating 24/7 would cost you $400 a year to operate. Pretty crazy. Now that's for 24/7 plant. I realize not everybody has those plants today, but many of them do if you're a big commercial operator. So you go from $400 a year to operate to 180 watts or $180 a year to operate. So to make the transition would cost you $129. That's how we got our start in the plug and play technologies. And it was only a matter of time before we knew that this product was going to yield to LED technology. So the benefits of plug and play is, one, it's super easy installation. You don't have to rewire the fixture. All you got to do is swap out bulbs. They're energy efficient to the tune of about 60% lower in energy costs. You can install obviously in hours versus days or weeks. Some of our customers, our large customers like Costco as an example, they have about 550 metal halide lamps in their stores, and they would literally upgrade to a type A or ballast compatible LED bulb overnight. A lot of facility operators, though, like to eliminate the ballast altogether. And with that, they would choose a product, an LED product, that would look similar to this one, that would operate on line voltage of 110 to 277 volt. So the idea was to bypass the ballast within the fixture. You can still use the same existing fixture, but you wire around all the ballast components and take line voltage straight to your E39 socket on the fixture itself. At that point, you could screw the light right in. Of course, over time, the question came up, well, if I buy a type A light and my ballast fails, do I have to buy a type B type of light that works on direct line voltage? Years ago, that was the case. However, OEO developed the technology, what we call our super hybrid, which allows you to use the lamp both on the ballast, whether it be metal halide, high pressure sodium, or mercury vapor, just by taking the bulb out, screwing it in. This bulb didn't care what kind of ballast it was screwed into, as long as it was a 400 watt E39 mogul based lamp holder or lower. So it would not work in a 1,000 watt fixture. In other words, we do have a type A for that. There is one. So this super hybrid, this allows you to have the benefits of the plug and play lamp, which is an immediate installation. And also the same exact lamp allows you to take advantage of type B or bypass operation, which means you can bypass the ballast, put the light on direct line voltage. So many of our large customers will install these lights initially. So they'll, put 100 of them in, do it over a, day or two period, whatever. Take out their 400 watters, screw this in. They're finished with upgrading to LED. Their light levels improve drastically, call it 2 to 3 times the light level. No complaints about that. This particular product has patented optics, so it doesn't have glare, which is a huge benefit for people driving around in forklifts all day long. So they're not looking at those piercing LED lights that you'll see often around plants. So swap out bulbs overnight, and then as you wish, you can bypass the ballast if you do, or the ballast if they fail. And the benefit to eliminating the ballast is that you save about an additional 58 watts. So 58 watts operating 24/7, that's $58 a year. You can extrapolate what your cost would be based upon your operating hours. Just take 58 divided by 24 hours, and it tells you how much you save per hour of operation based upon your application. So this product is extremely popular, and not only does it give you the benefits of type A ballast compatible or type B ballast bypass type of lights, but it also gives you the benefit of adopting controls or not, simply by removing this cap on the bottom of the light itself. You can get in what I call the dummy version of the light, and the dummy version just turns on and off and whatever you want it to do. Or you can get it in a motion sensing cap, which is about a $10, $15 option, which has motion sensing eye and also daylight harvesting eye, which will allow you to dim the lights and get the exact light level that you want. And that's why when I mentioned before, if you're going to go almost to 100% light output, think about a facility that's like a logistics center, which we've done. You've got 400 watt metal halide type of lights, or fluorescent for that matter, operating 24/7, although fluorescence you can put on motion sensors. So I'll just talk about the metal halides for now. You got a 400 watt metal halide in a huge logistics center operating 24/7. That light's going to stay on all the time. Why? Because the metal halide lights are extremely slow coming on, and you can't put them on motion sensors. You can see that one's starting to fire up right there. Here's the Easy LED Super Hybrid, fires up right away, and you can see the light level, at least right now. This is going to warm up, but still it's not going to have the light level anywhere close to the Easy LED. So 400 watts operating 24/7, $400. 150 watts operating 24/7, $150 at 11.5 cents kilowatt hour. However, if you put on the motion sensing cap, or you put on the Bluetooth control cap, which allows you to schedule lights and control everything with your phone or a wall control switch. Tell the light what to do. You can group them, tell them when to come on, tell them to talk to a motion sensor so that when the forklift goes by, they go to full light output or dim down to 10%. So think about this. Now that you have the ability to operate, save 250 watts going from 400 watt down to 150 watt, or save 250 watts or $250 a year, which is, you know, way less than 1 year payback, by the way, based upon those factors, 400 watts down to 150 watts. But now you throw on a motion sensor, daylight harvesting sensor, or the Bluetooth controls where you can do all the good scheduling stuff. You can go from 400 watts down to 150 watts when that forklift driver is driving by. But 20 seconds, 30 seconds after they pass, you can tell that light to dim down to entirely off, or 10%. So 150 watts operating at 10% light output, which incidentally, you'd be surprised at how much light a 15 watts of an LED will put out. It's still very useful light in a factory or any kind of center for that matter. You're going from $400 a year down to 10%, call it, of 150 watts, or 15 watts, $15 a year in operating costs for the most part. Not only is it way cheaper when the light's not being used by somebody in the area, but it's also going to give massive extended life to the LED light, which is about a 50,000 hour rated life, is 50,000 hour rated life, operating 24/7. So in that logistics center application, the light's going to last, call it 100 years or more. It's hard to believe, but it's true. So people who have had upgrading in the past from metal halide and high pressure sodium to LED, they went to T8 or T5 fixtures, which at the time, and still, you know, would save them about 50% in energy costs. You do have the option to upgrade those to LED as well with a type of LED tube like this one, which would take you from a 32 watt T8 to a 12 watt LED roughly. So you're saving about 20 watts or $20 a year in operating costs. And to make that transition might cost you, you know, maybe $7 for the tube. We work with utilities nationwide, and many of them will cover a significant cost of the upgrade, not only on any of our LED lamps, but in some cases, they'll cover 100% of the cost. So here at OEO, we do have a rebate department, and all we do all day long is track rebates to find out what's available in any particular country. And I will tell you, the overwhelming percentage of our customers get massive, if not entirely cost-free LED upgrades. Not everywhere, but it's very common. So anyway, if you did happen to not be a candidate for a fixture upgrade because either you've eliminated a 400 watt type of system or 1,000 watt system, and you went over to a fluorescent system, like a 6-lamp T5 or T8, again, you could upgrade the tubes, but some people want to go with entirely new fixtures. And why would you want to do that? Well, you're going to get an entirely new, clean fleet of lights that you can position within your facility anywhere you want. They are going to be a little bit more expensive if they're not covered by utility incentives. They will operate on any line voltage. One of the things about the super hybrid type of lights is that this particular product only works on 110 to 277 volt and anything in between, 208, 240. So if you're using 347 as they do up in Canada, or 480 volt which some of the heavy plants here in the States use, you'd have to, you want to be able to use this product unless you used it only in ballast compatible mode. So the LED new fixtures would allow you to have drivers that are 110 to 277 volt, anything in between, or they also come with drivers that have 347 to 480 volt driver operations, either one or the other. That's how it works in the LED world. So the two different styles they have are the UFO style, it looks like a UFO, or the linear style, which is more like the traditional type of lighting fixtures that you see in 2x4 type of fluorescent troffers. Similar look, user preference. Personally, I think I'd rather go with the easy upgrade, swap out bulbs, have the option to upgrade to a ballast or bypass my ballast while having the full ability to put in Bluetooth and motion sensing controls. It's a lot cheaper than changing out the entire fixture. And in some cases where union labor is an issue, it can get pretty expensive changing fixtures out. Whereas changing bulbs, you don't need to go with the union labor. So the big bonus with LED lighting these days is that you can achieve, the massive additional operating cost benefits by putting into use Bluetooth controls. So the Bluetooth controls in the easy LED type of product, they're right here in the cap of the light. So you don't have to add them to the bulb itself that you're using in these type of fixtures if you're going with the lamp type of replacement. If you're going with a full fixture replacement, you can either add a Bluetooth type of sensor that simply mounts on the side of the new LED fixture, like this one. There's an LED linear fixture. It would just mount right on the side and then wire it in very simply into a 1900 box or the fixture wiring itself, and you'll be able to have full control over the light, whether it's again the linear or the UFO type of style. Just chocolate or vanilla, what do you like better? And the benefit of that, of course, is you can schedule lights, tell them to be on all day, except when your employees go to lunch from 12 to 1, maybe the lights automatically dim down to 10% or off or 50% or whatever you want. And then at 1 o'clock, they pop back on. You can program them remotely. You don't have to have the app on your phone to do it because you can use a wall-mounted switch that you pre-program with the different settings. There's usually 4 of them. And it gives you really the exact lumen output by having controls. So kind of like on a moonlit night, you go outside, you can see everything perfectly because it's all balanced lumen output from the moon. Whereas in a factory, you have different levels of lighting depending on how high the lights are mounted or perhaps the pitch of the roof, things of that nature, or age of the existing fixtures. Well, now with Bluetooth controls, you can walk around your plant and you can tell every single light the exact amount of light output you want it to put out. So on your plant floor, you're going to have perfectly balanced lighting by telling some lights to be brighter, some to be dimmer, and have them all have equal foot candles. That's going to give you the perfect efficiency for your plant. So you're determining the amount of energy needed to produce the amount of light that you need and be able to balance that light entirely. So we like to call it light where you need it and when you need it. All right. So at OEO, our big mantra is we make lighting as simple as changing a light bulb. We do work very closely with the utilities, as I mentioned. We have many satisfied customers. We've been around since 1996. We deal directly with the end user so that we know their specifics of the applications. We offer all of our prospects, customers, 4 lights to test out, try them out for 60, 90 days, whatever. See how you like them. Make sure that whatever our recommendation is what you expected it to be. And then thereafter, do a full facility rollout with the lights. And of course, we'll let you know what your rebates are going to be before you do anything with us. So again, my name is John Einerson. Thank you very much for joining my webinar. And any of us here will be happy to help you. We answer our phone in about 2 or 3 rings. You'll be talking to a lighting expert right away. Not uncommon for me to pick up the phone. I really enjoy talking LED and controls. It's a pretty cool thing when you think about it. So anyway, thanks for joining us, and until next time.